Next up, we have Simon Hay, the Managing Director of Leo Lithium.
Thanks, Christy, and thanks to Paydirt for putting on the conference and the opportunity to speak to you all today. Today I'm going to step through the key points about the GOULAMINA lithium project, financial and technical merits, the competitive position, importantly, and most importantly, give you an update on what's happening on site. The project is actually underway. Construction, early stage construction has started, site works are underway, engineering's underway. And just to go back a step, Leo Lithium is going to be spun out from Firefinch. Firefinch is our parent. Firefinch runs the Marilla operation in Mali, and the GOULAMINA project is a near neighbour to that project. So I'll give you an update on what's happening on the merger side of things as well. Our usual disclaimer about forward-looking statements. Quick summary of the project. We're building a large-scale production facility. We have excellent recoveries driven by high grade. We have low OPEX, very impressive financials. Sorry, there we are. Very impressive financials of $4.1 billion NPV on the DFS update, which was released in December last year. And importantly, that NPV was calculated based on a price of $1,200 per tonne spodumene for the first 5 years and $900 long-term price thereafter. So at current prices, obviously that NPV would be significantly higher. And also worth pointing out, many of our peers are trading above their project NPVs. The market cap for Firefinch, including GOULAMINA as well as Marilla, is only 1.3 billion Australian at the moment. And also you need to take into account we have 45% economic interest in the project, which I'll talk about a bit further on. Very impressive IRR, even at that understated NPV, and a low capital intensity, which again I'll compare against our peers. And look, the competitive position of GOULAMINA is very strong. In many ways, we're well ahead of many of our peers. I'm going to highlight some of those key differentiators over the next few slides, and it really showcases the fantastic position that Leo Lithium is in when it will be listed. So the key differentiators are we'll be a globally significant producer at a very large scale. We're well funded. We have large-scale, high-grade resource. You can see there 1.45% lithia in the resource, 1.51% lithia in the reserve. We talked about, other peers talk about the size of their deposit. Our average strike when we go through the drilling results is a 58-metre contact with mineralised pegmatite. So this is a very large-scale deposit that we're sitting on. We'll make a very high-quality product, and we were selling that to a top-tier customer in GANFENG. And even though we're a startup company in many respects, starting Leo Lithium from a clean sheet, it's a greenfields project in Mali. We do already have an established presence in Mali with the Marilla asset that has been in operation for a long period of time. We have an established team in Bamako, the capital. We also have site presence now established permanently, as well as a project team in Buguni, the local regional centre. So I put all those key differentiators together, and I really think the GOULAMINA project is the complete package for the lithium industry at this stage. A little bit more on those key differentiators one by one. You can see I talk about we're building the project at a very large scale. Stage 1 will be 500,000 tonnes of concentrate on an annual basis. Stage 2 will take that to 830,000 tonnes of spodumene concentrate. And that would put us on this chart as number 3 producer globally. Now, these numbers are moving around. We've seen already this week, IGO and MinRes have both come out with expansion plans for their assets. Leo Lithium is no different. We're building this project in stages, just like the other majors are building their projects. And even after Mount Marion's expanded and some other expansions, the GOULAMINA project at stage 2 will comfortably sit in the top 5 global spodumene producers. Our plans with the stages is to build stage 1 immediately. As I said, we're underway. It's around about a bit over a 2-year project schedule to bring GOULAMINA stage 1 into production. We'll then commission it, operate it, really prove up the technical merits of the project, the financial merits, the quality metrics of the product, and then we'll go into an expansion phase where we take it up to 830,000 tonnes, as I said. We anticipate this is around about an 18-month gap between stage 1 and stage 2 while we complete all those tasks. In terms of capital intensity, the project compares very favourably to the peer group. $255 million CapEx US is the estimate for stage 1. It's a DFS level estimate, and it does include some capital that we're spending upfront in stage 1 on stage 2 capacity. So the crushing circuit, for instance, will be built at the full 4 million tonne per annum capacity of stage 2. We're building that in stage 1. It just makes a lot more technical and economic sense to build the crushing circuit once. The rest of the plant, we'll put in a second mill, and we will also, the flotation plant, the separation plant, we will build that in a mirror format. So we'll duplicate what we build in stage 1. Another reason for that building it in stages is that the learnings from stage 1 can be applied into stage 2 before we complete that, the design work for stage 2. CapEx for stage 2 at this stage, $70 million US. And we are doing some of that design work already for stage 2 now at the same time as we do stage 1. Describe GOULAMINA as large-scale, high-grade resource. I think it sits comfortably within the majors, our peers in the industry, and you can see the likes of Greenbushes, Mount Holland, etc. On the right-hand 2/3 of this chart. We compare very favourably in regard to grade, and that has a lot of advantages in terms of recovery, which we'll talk about. I think it's worth pointing out some other differentiators on this slide, and that's the colour of the bubbles. So the operators are blue, and the developers, those actually in construction who have made FID, are in yellow, and there's very few. Most of the peer group are still in study phase. They're still awaiting permits, awaiting funding, awaiting offtake. GOULAMINA has a tick in every one of those categories. So, that's why we're very comfortable. FID has been made, and we're now advancing into the project execution phase. One other thing I'll point out here is that the little blue dot over here, Mount Catlin, very tiny, small blue dot. You may have seen the release last week from Allchem. I know Mount Catlin well, operated that asset for a period of time. They are generating $250 million of revenue in 1 quarter. So 2 shipments of spodumene, $250 million at spot pricing. So it really shows you what the potential is for these majors as this lithium shortage continues. High-grade resource, as we talked about, we're in the top 5 in terms of resource grade and reserve grade, and that certainly helps us in regard to mining. Talked about that 58-metre average contact strike in our drilling means we'll be mining ore for long periods of time without any or very minimal waste dilution impact. This really helps the recovery in the plant. We all know grade certainly improves recovery, and that's why we've been able to get an 80% recovery in our test work program. 4 programs have been completed. They all came out with results, high 70s, low 80s. So we're confident going into this project that we will be able to deliver that recovery. And what gives me a lot of confidence is that the 4th program was completed by Ganfeng, our JV partner. They completed that in China, revised the flow sheet, made a lot of suggestions coming into the process plan, into the DFS update. And importantly, they also converted that product in their own test facilities into lithium hydroxide. And it came out with really good results, battery grade lithium hydroxide. So again, really strong confidence levels as we go into this execute phase that we will be building a project that has a really great product that we can bring to market. Leo Lithium is a clean sheet company. We're building up. I was the first employee. We're now got about 12, I think, in the team, and rapidly ramping up. This is in Perth. We have a number in Mali, as I've talked about. So yeah, clean sheet in Perth, but not in Mali. The Marilla gold asset has a long history, been in operation for I think over 20 years, and 1,800 employees already in 5-inch in Mali. Some of those employees will transfer over to Leo Lithium, and some already have. So we already have an established presence, really good contacts in Bamako. We have great access to the key regulators, the politicians, and I'll talk more about that on a coming slide. Importantly for Mali, the country is very dependent on mining. I think it contributes around 20% of GDP from memory. Most of it, if not all of it, gold. And the Mali government is really enthusiastic about diversifying, about bringing in a very large-scale lithium project into their portfolio, and we're getting tremendous support from the government. They're acutely aware of where GOULAMINA is positioned globally, and that support is really playing out, and I'll explain more shortly. We do have a world-class partner in Ganfeng. They're a very large lithium chemicals business, #1 globally in terms of capacity. But they do, I think, bring a lot more to the project than just that offtake. They're providing funding, of course, $130 million US already. The product will go to a purpose-built converter in China, close to their processing hubs that you can see on the map there. So there will be a new converter built solely to take the GOULAMINA product. Ganfeng also is helping us right at the moment with their large supplier network in China and their strong, purchasing power that brings. And we will be sourcing some of our equipment through that network. Ganfeng bring a lot of technical experience to the project as well. They have experience across a number of assets, a number here in Western Australia, but also globally, and that is already proved to be useful in our flowsheet development. And also, I think very importantly, we get to understand the industry and the downstream market through this involvement with Ganfeng and market intelligence. At the moment, the world's short of lithium. I think it's quite easy. Any product that can be brought to site will be sold and converted into battery-grade material. In the future, I think this market intelligence will be really important for us. Importantly, on the offtake, Ganfeng have 50% offtake at the moment. That was earned through the equity investment. They moved to 100% offtake through the provision of a debt facility that we're currently negotiating, and Stage 2 offtake, where we go up to 800,000 tonnes of product, is still, all options are open on what we do with that. The converter in China that they're building will basically be built to handle Stage 1 only, so that Stage 2 product offtake, we will jointly consider all options, including partnering on conversion, third-party sales, even processing in other jurisdictions. We are very close to Europe and North America, so we'll certainly look at options around that stage 2 offtake. We announced last week that the JV is formalised. The final condition precedent had been met for the formalisation of the JV. This released $130 million US of funds into the JV bank account. So that is, we're now up and away and we're spending. The Mali government does have a 10% free carry interest in the project. That's held at the asset level. And the way GANFENG and LEO will operate this is at the JV level. We'll have a JV committee. We already cooperate on and jointly decide on many key items, and that will continue as we establish the JV and really get going. And I'll talk a little bit about the demerger shortly. First of all, project status, what's actually happening on the ground. So we've started early procurement. So the ball mill tender has gone out to China and to other tenderers, and the crushing circuit will be next in that process. Site works have started. The earthworks contractor has mobilised to site. Site clearing is underway and roadworks, and we're starting the construction of the camp. The sterilisation drilling program that was commenced late last year, that has completed. We have in 2 places struck some pegmatite. We had a 40-metre contact in one area and 20 in another. We haven't yet received assays for those drill results. It was definitely mineralised in part, wasn't continuously mineralised, but we'll need to see the assays to work out whether we'd have a starter pit or something like that in that area to clear that resource before we backfill and put the waste rock facility there. All that work is still to be undertaken. We have completed some step-out drilling as well around those strikes. Results still pending. We will be doing further drilling this year, extension drilling. The deposit is open along strike and at depth, and that work will continue for this year. Socialisation with the local communities is also well advanced. The project, we have Lycopodium doing the EPCM here in Perth, and they're very well experienced in West African projects. I was on site a couple of weeks ago, so a couple of happy snaps from my time here. You can see the drilling underway. The shot there in the middle is me pretending to be a geo. They may have had a director's special here. The hole we had, it was one of the extension drill holes. It was a 50-metre along strike from the previous extremity of the drilling. We did hit 50 metres of pegmatite. It was mineralised, and it went down 10 metres. The mineral went down 10 metres below the previous drill hole, or the most adjacent drill hole, which stopped in mineral. So it just shows you the extent, the possibilities with this deposit. We already have 100 million tonnes, 108 million tonnes of resource. So we don't actually need to add too much to it at this stage, but the potential is still enormous, I believe, in this area. You can see the earthworks contractor has mobilised to site. We've got about 20 pieces of equipment on site, surface mobile equipment. You can see it gives you a bit of a view on the terrain. It's very flat, sparsely vegetated. The roadworks are relatively simple. You can see I met with the elders, the local chief, the mayor and the village elders. They're very supportive of the project. The village sits around 2 kilometres from the extremity of the furthest extremity of our infrastructure, so we don't have to relocate anyone, which is fantastic. And lastly, I'll just talk about the mines minister here. He's got the best name for a mines minister, Lamine Traore. Very, very supportive, as I said, was personally invested in getting us the last element, one of the last conditions precedent for the JV. establishment, and that was the transfer of the licence from the 5-inch asset into the new Leo Lithium asset. So incredibly supportive, yeah, we'll have an opening ceremony pretty shortly where the minister will be on site to kick the construction phase off. So just on the transaction, the way 5-inch's plan to do the demerger was to complete the internal reorganisation of the company first. Once that was clean and complete, then launch into the demerger. And all those transaction tasks have been delivered by Michael Anderson and the team. It's been a long process, probably longer than some of our shareholders thought, but I must point out it's very complex. We have 4 jurisdictions, 4 teams of lawyers. We have a foreign government involved, of course, and it has taken longer than anticipated. Very pleasingly, every single task has been completed by Mike's team, and that's fantastic. That last one there, the debt facility, it's not a condition precedent for the JV or for the demerger, so we expect to have that completed this quarter. So what does the demerger look like? So eligible 5-inch shareholders will receive an in-specie distribution of Leo shares at no cost. 5-inch will retain a 20% interest in Leo following the demerger, and at the same time there will be a pro rata offer to eligible 5-inch shareholders to raise capital, which should take Leo Lithium very close to being fully funded for stage 1, if not fully funded. I can't say more than that at this stage. Law precludes me from doing so. All we can do is point people in the direction of the Leo Lithium prospectus, which will be released, we think, this month. It's getting very close. We did a page turn yesterday with the lawyers. A little bit of work to do, but the plan is that comes to our shareholders later this month. So getting very close. And just to conclude, I think what I've shown you today is that GOULAMINA is a large-scale, globally significant project. We're well-funded. We have a great partner in GANFENG. And while many of our peers are still, in the starting gates, Leo Lithium is off and flying down the track already. The project is underway, and we're very shortly about to be under our own banner as Leo Lithium, and once the demerger is complete. Thanks very much for your attention.